Hello and welcome to Gar1onriva's Top 5s. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 legendary and mythical Pokémon. I'm joined today by longtime friend and patron GT, who last appeared as the guest for PokéSins episode 75.
Hello!
Over the 8 generations of Pokémon there have been a lot of legendaries and mythicals, more than I realised. Some are interesting, some are not. We do plan to do a bottom 5 list too, but for now these are... I've just realised this isn't a top 5, I should explain that. So we're going to do this as a two-parter, but we recorded the first parter which had numbers 5 through 3, and it wasn't very good. So we scrapped it, and we're just going to get to the best bits. So here are number 2 and 1. Be aware that Ultra Beasts are not eligible. 3 other things to be aware of. First of all, these are our personal opinions, so please don't tell us we're wrong. Some Pokemon are grouped together if they're very similar or for other reasons, and we'll address and explain them as and when. And finally, I didn't take the Pokemon's obtainability or competitiveness into account, but GT may have done on some of them. GT's number 2.
Lugia. I have always loved Lugia from the moment I saw it. I love the colour silver, and it shines on Lugia perfectly.
But Lugia isn't silver.
It's silver enough.
Does it have silver bits on it? I'm sorry, I've just completely interrupted. I need to know.
I was doing so well.
It's got a grey, bluey stomach. Sorry, carry on.
Yes, in my opinion, it's silver, and the fact it's a mascot for Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Soul Silver tends to support this fact. But yeah, I find it much more interesting than Ho-Oh, and I love the fact it dwells at the bottom of the sea, despite not being a water type. I don't know why they thought Psychic would be more fitting.
Yeah. Sorry, just quick interruption. I briefly mentioned in the part that got cut about Celebi being Psychic for no reason, and it's because Psychic was the special type that they just chose legendaries for, and you still get it these days, but Lugia is another example of that. It should have been water. Carry on.
Despite his signature move being physical. The most interesting thing about Lugia is the myth that when he flaps his wings, he causes a 40-day storm, which in England is their summer.
Wow. GT's Australian. I don't know if you can tell.
It's pretty easy.
I had gold, but these days I do prefer Lugia and Silver, and I'm looking forward to encountering him in Gale of Darkness, where he has a bit of a starring role. My number 2, Kyogre. See, this is a water Pokemon that is actually a water Pokemon. Even though Groudon... I always thought Groudon should have been fire, but it makes sense that it's ground, considering it's supposed to be land to Kyogre's ocean. But anyway...
His primal form counts.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't like the way primal forms change types. But anyway, Kyogre is beautiful. It is... I love it so much. It's so pretty. It's so smooth. You can just imagine sitting on it, and there is actually a picture of this, sitting on it and like watching the stars. Here's that picture. It's a great picture. Anyway, I have no script for this. I'm going entirely improv. I don't know if you can tell. So, I love it. I really do. And to be honest, I was never that into it. It was only when I played Alpha Sapphire that I really got a love for it. Because back when I played Gen 3 originally, I had Ruby and then Emerald, and of course I caught it in Emerald. But when I played Alpha Sapphire, I had it in my team, and I called it Kyrath, which I thought was a really interesting spelling. Anyway, I really like it. I think it's very powerful. I think it is utterly beautiful. And the whole thing about being the ocean incarnate, I like it. I really like the ocean. I like sailing in the ocean, and it's just so cool.
I really love the fact that in Oris, when you use Kyogre to surf, the model of him is there. It's so nice.
Yeah, I forgot about that. GT's number 1.
Dialga. For the longest time, I thought it was pronounced Dialga, but Dialga suits it. But yes, this is my favourite legendary Pokemon, and like Lugia, I loved it from the moment I saw it. And I loved it so much, I really wanted Pokemon Diamond. At the time, I did not have a DS. Well, for Christmas later, I did get a DS, but I got Pokemon Platinum, which I didn't know at the time was the better version, and ultimately I'm glad I got that. But even better, I could still catch Dialga in it. And
you can catch Dialga in Platinum?
You can catch Dialga and Palkia in Platinum.
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, you didn't explore it enough. You hated it.
No, that's because it was terrible. Carry on.
Anyway, Dialga is such an awesome Pokemon. It is the Pokemon of time, and I have a bit of an obsession with time. I love the entire concept of it. And its signature move, Roar of Time, oh, I love it so much, and it's so much cooler than Hyper Beam.
Hopefully you can answer this. I almost put Dialga on my bottom 5 list, because what the hell does a Steel and Psychic type have to do with time?
What does water have to do with space?
Nothing. That is also a complaint I have. What does its design have to do with time?
I don't know.
It doesn't have... they could have incorporated some sort of hourglass-like thing. It seems like they just said, okay, let's have a generic Pokemon. That's now time-related.
I don't care. I don't care. I love it, and my opinion is the one that matters in this.
Wow. Well, I'm not going to tell you your opinion is wrong, but I disagree.
Fair enough.
And finally, my number 1, Meloetta.
Who didn't see this coming?
Wow, shush. I love Meloetta. It's so adorable. It was the thing that made me start cheating in Pokemon. That sounds like a really horrible thing to say. When I found out Meloetta existed, you see, I barely paid attention to Mythicals after Gen 3, because you can't obtain them. What's the point? And I really began getting down on them. And then when I found out Meloetta existed in Gen 5, I first thought it was a grass type. Just the coloration, I guess. But Psychic Normal, I guess, doesn't really make sense. But I love it. I think it is utterly adorable. And I have a little plushie of it sat on my shelf. There it is. Look at it.
Yeah, I like it. It's not my top 5, but it still looks pretty good.
And when I played Black 2, I cheated in a Meloetta, or encountered a Meloetta at, level 2. And I did have to cheat to give it the special move it has that changes it into its pirouette form. But its design, I talked about this in my pretty Pokemon list, didn't I?
Relic Song.
Check that out. Linked. Relic Song, thank you. Yes, check out my top 5 pretty Pokemon, linked in the description and at the end of the video. But in that, I discussed briefly about how... I discussed about how it's designed after a singer with, notes in its hair representing a bar, and it's got the little microphone and stuff. I think it's brilliant design. Overall, it's definitely my favourite mythical and legendary Pokemon. And I am very tempted to redo my top 5 Pokemon list because it may just include Meloetta. And that is all for our list. Sorry it wasn't a full top 5, but these are the best bits. Please comment below with your favourite legendary or mythical Pokemon. Please comment below with your favourite legendary and mythical Pokemon, as well as any suggestions for future top or bottom 5s. You can also vote for next month's top 5 by pledging to my Patreon linked in the description. We plan to do a bottom 5 list, which will hopefully be the full 5. And thank you very much to GT for taking part.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for watching. We will catch you later.
Bye.